The information is presented for educational purposes only, is not intended to diagnose or prescribe for any medical or psychological condition, or to prevent, treat, mitigate, or cure such conditions. The information is only presented herein for entertainment and educational purposes only. Living Waters Wellness Center was formed after we discovered how to heal my body from multiple symptoms, including allergies, asthma, chronic fatigue, back pain, psoriasis, acne, hives, yeast infections, and finally cancer. After 20 years of trying numerous different treatments, medical treatments, cleanses, iridology, muscle therapy, acupuncture, acupressure, homeopathy, naturopathy, these experiences led us to discover that the recipe that became known as the 4 natural laws of healing, combining multiple natural healing modalities to fully detox and cleanse the body, and allowing the body to take the perfect nutrition to fully restore the body back to its innate health. This became known as the 10-day healing retreat. We've helped thousands of people get their health restored so they can live the life to the fullest. If you want to learn how you can get your body back to living your best life, go to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the 4 natural laws of healing, and watch that video, or call the office at 208-378-9911. Good morning, everyone. David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center and your host of today's Whole Body Detox Show. Welcome to the show. If you miss any parts of this show, you can be assured you can listen to the whole thing over at wholebodydetoxshow.com. That's our podcast and website. And if you have the podcast app on your phone, Google us. You'll find us. We're on all the major platforms. And while you're there, if you wouldn't mind, if you'd please either subscribe to it or write us a review, it'd be great, or give us a like. We appreciate that. We now have about 74 episodes up. And today we're going to be talking about a couple different things. We talk about what did not happen on Earth Day that should have happened. We're going to talk about vibration technology. And of course, all the good things to detoxify the body. So first part of the show, I want to jump into what did not happen on Earth Day. Of course, the local city council in Boise, and the mayor was out celebrating Earth Day. But yet they're the very same council who quickly rushed through a brand new ordinance. Before the entire ordinance rewrite was done, they had to quickly put through a brand new rewrite on a section of the code for wireless. It seems that those of us who wanted to contest any towers being 20 feet from our homes and in our yards were just causing them a lot of difficulty. They didn't want to be messed with that. So basically what they did is they gutted the code to allow wireless towers to be as close as 20 feet from your home and about every 200 feet up and down the street. And I'm talking about the small monopole 30-foot high towers known as 5G towers. Now, any cell tower is bad, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but these towers are especially bad. They are putting out a very high frequency that's not good for your body. Does not resonate. And we know it kills bees. We know it defoliates trees. We know it creates cancer in you. In fact, our good friend and board member of Idahoans for Safe Technology, Hank's been on the show before. Hank, about a year ago, witnessed a tower turn on about 658 yards from his home. So a good amount of space. You think about it, 658 yards, about 2,000 feet. But Hank went to Afib about 2 days after that tower turned on. And come to find out, he's between 2 towers. And those towers, we measure the frequency, and they're putting out way more frequency than is needed to safely send a text or phone message through the airwaves. He's now been at Afib 18 times, and finally got so bad that the doctors finally talked him into doing heart ablation, hoping that that's going to solve the problem. We don't know. Jury's out. Now his daughter in that home has her heart rate going up to 130 beats per minute when she's in the home. She's 13 years of age. He puts her in a truck, takes her out in the desert. Her heart drops down to 80 beats per minute. Goes back in the home, 130 beats a minute. Look, this is affecting everyone. In fact, with Hank's yard, it affected 2 other things. It affected his bees, killed every one of them. Defoliated his trees. His trees don't produce fruit anymore. And those trees have always produced fruit. His neighbors down the road, no problem. They're producing fruit, but not his. No, because he'd buy a tower. See, these towers are not regulated. Oh, but David, I'm told, the FCC regulates those towers. We are preempted. We can't regulate them. Absolutely not true. The Idaho Land Use Code allows local planning jurisdiction to decide where and if these towers go. But they've been so brainwashed that they don't believe this, the local county governments. And so we saw a tower go up in a subdivision. Well, it's getting ready to go up in Moores Creek. Same thing. They were on the right path. Now that tower's been peeled, so the jury's still out. But again, they don't understand what they're regulating. Case in point, what is a drive test? What is a propagation study? One of the things that they must provide. Well, they don't know what it is because they haven't taken the time to study it and look it up, even though we've educated them the best we can through our 3 minutes of testimony we get each time we contest a tower. The wireless companies provide what they call a map, a propagation map. But there's no specifications. It would be like going and saying, I'm going to build an 18-story building in downtown Boise, and I don't provide you with any specifications of the steel, the concrete, the electricity. Now, county governments have great regulations over those buildings. They have engineers, right, to do inspections. They have plumbing inspectors, electrical inspectors. No inspectors for these towers. They're very, very dangerous. We have a physicist in the organization who has worked with these things in the Army. They used it for mind control in the war. And he says these things can be used as a weapon. And definitely that's what we see. In Pittsfield, Massachusetts this last week, they issued a cease and desist order about 8 days ago. And we're going to see if Verizon answers that call or not. But in that case, 20 homeowners were put out of their homes. The towers were 3 to 1,000 feet from these homes. So not as close as these 5G towers are going to be, 300 to 1,000 feet, but yet these 5G towers can be as close as 20 feet. Think about it. There's going to be tens of thousands of these towers putting out harm. And we know they cause harm. How do we know that? Well, the D.C. Court of Appeals, August 13th, 2021, issued a decision against the FCC saying you've been arbitrary, capricious, and illegal. Your 1996 Telecommunications Act studies proved that there was, actually they didn't prove they were safe. What they did is they did a heat test on a 6'4" plastic dummy for a couple of seconds and said, it's safe. Meanwhile, there's been about 18,000 studies around the world, including New Hampshire, whose governor commissioned 13 scientists to look at causes of harm from the radiation of these towers. 12 of the 13 science concurred. There is harm caused by these towers. And many of these guys have worked on these towers for years and believe the opposite. One of them I interviewed in this show. You can go back to podcast number on October 1st, where I spoke with Dr. Kent Chamberlain, one of the scientists on that commission, and listen to his story. You can also listen to podcast number 60, where I talked to Dr. Martin Paul, and he talked about how these are killing all our pollinators. Guys, if we kill all the pollinators, you and I, we have no food. We're literally going extinct, and that's basically what he said. He's written a lot of papers on this, so someone should listen to. He also talked about how it creates the terpenes in the trees. Terpenes are like adding gas to it. He believes it's the cause of why these fires have been so massive the last several years. And like he said, driving across the desert last fall, there were no bugs on his windshield. We're killing them. We're killing them with wireless technology. Now, what's safer is fiber optics wired to the premises. Very safe. Very, very fast. Much faster than these slow 5G towers, which only provide broadband internet. It's all they provide. No cell phone calls whatsoever. So why in the heck would we commission and let someone come into our town and ruin our cities? You know, this goes against the Boise blueprint, which is all about being green and sustainable. Well, you're not going to have green trees. You're going to have dying trees. You're not going to have bees. You're not going to have birds because it kills them all. And it kills you and I as well. It disrupts it and creates, we've got reports out at Eagle and Banbury, two gals that were in glioblastoma cancer, and another one went into Afib. She's 45 years of age. She said, I've always been healthy. I've had no problems. All of a sudden now I'm in Afib, just like you, Hank. And we're seeing it another location, but there's a cell phone tower out there at Target, there at Eagle Road in Chinden. So what we've done on Idahoans for Safe Technology, go to that site. Guys, we're raising money to go to court to shut these towers off. But we need your help. We need to raise some funds. Idahoansforsafetechnology.org. If you can lend us $25, $50, $100, $1,000, we need all the help we can get. And we need it right away. So please go there. You can see under the under science, go to health, and you'll see the story on Hank, and he's got it all laid out up there, all the pictures. And definitely take a look at those stories. And on the very first page, you can actually do the donation if you'd like to. We'd really like you to help it out. We're all volunteers. We've been working in this arena now for over 2 years. I've learned a ton, including listened to a great show this last week about what they're doing in some areas, putting in the fiber optics, which we were supposed to have to begin with. You and I have been paying on our phone bills for years, a little tax that was meant to go to Wire America. But instead, the big wire and the FCC in cahoots stole that money, basically. Anyway, we've got to change it, and it's going to take all of us. I can't do it by myself, our little board. We've been doing the best we can to appeal a lot of these towers. We've got an appeal coming up here in the county on May 11th. 2 towers we're contesting there. So, guys, please do go take a look at it, and definitely, if you're having problems, there's a form that you can put where you live. If you went into Afib, let us know. St. Luke's tells Hank that they get 8 to 10 brand new people a week in Afib. 8 to 10 a week, 40 a month, 480 a year. Today we're talking about vibration. Last section we talked about the vibration of wireless, which we don't need more of. And we were talking about a vibration technology, a tool that we use here all the time. We've really got a lot of great stories about that. And if you go way back to last year, I did a whole program with Dr. Ian Gaynor from the T-Zone Company. He's a chiropractor, retired now, but discovered his own benefits of using whole body vibration. And we see it here all the time. So a couple of things. What is vibration technology? Just did an article that's published on our blog over at livingwaterscleanse.com. So for those of you who do not like to work out, or for some of those of you who cannot work out, maybe you've got bad knees, like my mother-in-law did. Or maybe you're just one who just doesn't have the core strength to get up out of a chair. You need help. This machine is going to turn you around in as short as about 4 to 5 days. I've seen it many, many times. So vibration technology, whole body vibration. So this is basically a plate, a little contraption you stand on, and you grab onto the handles and you turn the machine on. And what it's doing is mimicking walking. So it's oscillating back and forth, tilting back and forth, left to right. Now your body, when it feels that, wants to balance itself. Without you even being aware of it, your muscles are always reacting to keep you upright and balanced. This natural reaction is what's employed with whole body vibration. By keeping the body constantly a little out of balance, these muscles have to work. Every time the plate moves, your body has no choice but to respond to the challenge it is offered, rebalancing you on the plate by engaging, contracting, relaxing several times a second. Now the best part is, because the reactions are so quick and involuntary, it actually feels good. The sensation is more like a massage or gently stretching. Nothing like pounding through several sets at the gym, which you'll never find me doing, quite frankly. The other part I love about this machine is that I get up in the morning and I brush my teeth and I walk into my wife's walk-in closet where she has a machine at, and I jump on it, and for 2.5 minutes I brush my teeth and I basically do a little workout, which is pretty cool. Now, when I get stiff and sore from working out in the garden, in the yard, or whatever I've been doing, I love the machine because I can also use it to stretch out. So I can stretch out. For those of you who are golfers, it's golfing season now, this is great for golfers. It really helps improve your flexibility. In fact, I can show you in 40 seconds how to increase your flexibility and make your swing easier just by getting on this machine. And if you'd like to come down and try it out, please do. Just call the office at 208-378-9911. 378-9911. Real easy number to remember. Or just, of course, Google Living Waters Wellness Center. Now, this machine is great for those of you with neuropathy. What's happening with neuropathy? We talked about a lot in this show. Neuropathy is just you get all this inflammation in your body, and now you may have tingling or no sensation whatsoever in your feet. But by doing this vibration technology on a T-zone in conjunction with doing colon hydrotherapy, we're going to open up those major pathways in the body and get things moving out, and then we're going to move that lymphatic fluid. The problem is most of you, because you're so sedentary, you have a lot of built up stuck gunk in your lymphatic system. And pretty soon it swells up and you get a thing called edema or neuropathy. that can all be changed. It can all be reversed. I've seen it happen many, many times. One of the cool stories I have to share was a gal that came in and she had Alzheimer's. Her and her husband joined the 10-day cleanse. And she could not get out of the chair on her own. We had to help her get up out of the chair every time. So the first day I put on the machine, and it was hard to get her up there. There's a little step up about, 8 inches maybe. And she steps up, she gets on, and we went for about 6 minutes. Then I sat her down on a chair behind it and just put her legs on it and just let that vibration work back and forth. What that's doing, if you think about your lymphatic system, you can picture for a moment all these little imaginary tubes going through your water with little pods, little small lymphatic nodes. There's about 800 in your body. You have a whole bunch of them around underneath your armpit, come down from your head, all the way down from your bottom of your legs up. And if you get on that vibration machine, it's going to shake that fluid up. See, there's no pump for this fluid. Your pump is supposed to be you jumping up and down, running, moving, which we all used to do, but most of us don't anymore because we're too sedentary in our jobs today. So by turning this machine on, and that oscillation back and forth like a seesaw creates that vibration, and that literally vibrates that lymphatic fluid. I saw a guy, the first time I saw this demonstrated, this guy had a huge swelling in his lymph nodes. In fact, I would say it was the size of a small pear. It was really swollen up. It was absolutely, I didn't think nothing would happen when he did this. But he got on the machine for 4 minutes, and Dr. Gaynor had him just gently stroke where the lump was and just move it towards his chest. And the reason why you move it that way is that's where the fluid dumps into that vein and takes it into the blood system and into your liver. It disappeared in 4 minutes. Absolutely amazing. He was pretty happy. We had another lady who had a hip problem. And she couldn't walk more than, maybe 100 feet without having pain. She got on that machine that night, and I don't think she even did a full 10 minutes. And she went home, and she says, David, I walked around the block today. I still can't believe this is working, but I am going to come in. I want to use your machine. And so I agree. So come in, try it out. So she did that for the next several days. And, her distance of walking increased substantially. No pain. Here she'd injured it doing some weightlifting, and she had been to therapy for, I think a couple of years. She had done deep tissue massage. She did every kind of massage you could think of, every kind of stretch, you name it. She was in pain. She bought a T-zone machine and began using it and never looked back. Big change. Had that hip pain go away. Have neuropathy go away. It makes you smarter. Studies show that when you oscillate back and forth, that's creating a pattern in your brain. And there's actually a doctor, I can't remember who he is. He sent out on Eagle Road, as I recall. Was in his office years ago. Has an oscillating machine in there, a vibration machine for kids with learning disabilities, and he puts them on that machine. Makes you smarter. Lots of benefits to the machine. We're having a special on them right now. In fact, you can save anywhere from $80 on our small portable machine, which normally sells for $475, plus $30 shipping and some tax. You can now get it for $425, free shipping. Still got to pay the governor his tax, but we can drop it right to your door wherever you live. The big machine, the VT20A, and you'll see this on the website, that machine normally retails for $23.99. It's $180 off, plus free shipping. That saves you $110 in shipping charges. And you can also finance the machine. It's $350 down, and the payment's about $122 roughly over 18 months, and then you'll own the machine outright. That's the way we bought our first machine, and we still have that machine to this day. 13 years later, we still have a machine. It's still oscillating back and forth. They're really good machines. There are other vibration plates out there that oscillate up and down vertically. You don't want those. They jar your neck and your head. Now, portable machine is great. The only downside of that machine, it doesn't have near the power. If you want to come into the office and try both out, you can. Does not have anything to grab onto it. They do give you a couple ski poles, kind of ski type poles to put for your balance. But if you're someone who's, if it's my elderly mother, for example, and she had balance issues, I would not put her on the portable machine. Now, for some people, I would get that portable machine, and maybe they can't get out of a wheelchair right now. Like my wife, when she fell off a roof and broke a bunch of bones, she had double casts. So what do? I put her 1 minute on a very high massage type speed, and that helped move that lymphatic fluid while she was recovering. It was a big game changer. It sped up her recovery because it builds bone, it builds muscle, and moves lymphatic fluid. Win, win, win. We'll be back for the next segment in just a moment. I'm David DeHaas, your host of the Whole Body Detox Show. If you missed any part of these episodes, go to wholebodydetoxshow.com and check out livingwaterscleanse.com, livingwaterscleanse.com, or call the office at 208-378-9911. I'll be back in a moment with more. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you. Welcome back, David DeHaas from the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center, livingwaterscleanse.com if you want to go check out the website. Definitely when you're there, first mode of business is watch 4 Natural Laws of Healing, 4naturallawsofhealing.com. As well, you can get that webinar. It's going to teach you all the modalities we use and how we have such success in our 10-day healing retreat, which, by the way, we still have a couple spots left on the healing retreat, I think, as this goes to air, and that's going to start May 9th. If you want to rebirth and refresh, let me tell you, I'm down here today recording the show, and watching the colors of the faces of the cleansers is just so much fun. They got a little spring in their step now. They're glowing. Their movements are better. They're sleeping better. Some of the pains and aches they had are completely gone. We're only halfway through it. And just a cool change that we're seeing is so much fun to see. Getting that toxicity out of your body that's been building up for the years you've been on Earth. And as you know, we're in a toxic soup bucket. You can't help but get toxins, even if you're the cleanest, a very clean, finicky eater. But, you know, you're still breathing the air. You're around wireless towers. We talked about in the first segment what's going on in wireless. So if you missed part of the show, guys, we have a tragedy on our hands here. As we're seeing not only in our city, but in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, where they had 20 people had to evacuate their homes because of the cell tower, which is 300 to 1,000 feet away, just too much power. All those people, they've been living on the street in their cars with friends. They can't even go in their own homes. We know that realtors tell us that this decreases your home value 20 to 25%. And I would submit to you, some of these homes won't be able to be sold at all. Because you take 20 homeowners and they had to evacuate. Well, who would want to buy that home and take that risk? Maybe you can't feel it, but it's still affecting your cells nonetheless. It affects all our cells. Research shows this. Kills our pollinators, kills our bugs, kills our birds, defoliates our trees. Dangerous stuff. We need your help. So as I mentioned on the first part of this show today, go to Idahoans for Safe Technology, click on Science and then Health Impacts. Read the story of what happened to Hank, and it's happening to a lot of people. We're starting to build a little list, and if you believe you've been injured, we want you to do a couple of things. One, fill out the form, and we've got a list of every tower in the city on that site. And you can see where you live and what towers are there, whether 5G or the big macro towers. You'll be able to see where you live. And then I want you to call Central District Health and report it. And then I want you to call Boise City and Meridian City, whichever government jurisdiction you're in, and I want you to tell them that, hey, I'm being harmed. This has a big impact. You have protections under the Americans with Disability Act. This has not been played out yet in court, but it's getting played out right now. Andrew Campanelli, top attorney in the country for wireless technology, was before the court here a few months ago. We'll see what the decision is in probably a couple more months from now. But guy in San Francisco had a tower go up across the street from his apartment, and all of a sudden he had problems. He had headaches. This causes cancer, guys. It causes tumors. This one gal, she was 19 years old, 30 feet from the tower's 30 feet from her bedroom window, and she had a tumor at 19 the size of a beach ball. I mean, my goodness. That is just, it's just, you can't believe it when you hear it, but when you start reading down through the stories and the studies, 18,000 of the studies that show cause of harm, it's a big problem. So how are we going to solve it? Well, we got to protest. We got to work from the grassroots, which what Idahoans for Safe Technology is doing. We need your help. Please donate to our legal fund. We need those legal dollars because we plan on going to court to turn off these towers that are causing harm. We're not against wireless technology. We want it in a safe manner. What is safe? Well, these towers can travel. Their signal can travel for a long ways. If you look around Boise and Meridian, Idaho, these towers are 80 feet off the ground. They're right next to homes. Insanity. These towers should be 200 feet in the air. They should be up in the foothills. They should be out south in the desert. These towers range are 10, 15, 20 miles, guys. Look at, we don't need them every block. And these 5G towers, we don't need at all because they're just carrying broadband internet connection. And it's slow. But what we want? Wired to the premises fiber optics. Fiber optics to the premises. That's what you want. It's safe. It's in the ground. It's buried. No one can disrupt your technology. These towers, these little 30-foot towers, insanity. First of all, they wire fiber optics to the doggone tower. Why don't you string more fiber optics to the homes? Well, it's because they want to track you. That's why they're doing it. A lot of marketing dollars involved in this. If they can be able to do that, see where you're going and shopping and watch your habits and so forth. And like our physicist said, this is dangerous stuff. He was in the Army. He worked on these things. He says, you don't want this. No one wants this. It makes no sense at all. But yet, Boise City slammed it right through. They don't care. Supposedly all about Earth Day, but they did more harm to the Earth by passing that code than anybody else in the entire world. Just, you can't distance yourself from this stuff. You can't escape it. It's nasty stuff. So please donate. Please help us out. If you want to be a volunteer, we need volunteers. Call me in my office, 208-378-9911. I want to hear from you. If you want to help us out, we need all kinds of skill sets. If you're good at raising money, if you're good at writing, if you're good at helping prepare testimony, if you're good at speaking, whatever your skill set is, give me a call. We'll figure out a place for it. We need help. 208-378-9911. Back to what I'm normally here for, talking about toxicity and healing. We've been talking about vibration technology. Gravity can be your friend if you're using this vibration technique properly. And that's the beauty of this machine. My mother-in-law, I'll tell you a story. My mother-in-law was bone on bone, and she was using a walker, and it was painful for her to walk. She'd go to her grandson's baseball games, couldn't even get in the stands. It was so bad. And her husband bought her a vibration machine, a whole body T-zone machine, which, by the way, they're on sale right now. Over at the website, you can save anywhere from $80 to $290, depending on which machine you buy. We have portable ones that are right now discounted with free shipping, and the discount total of $80, so it costs you $225 plus a little tax to get your machine. Or if you buy the big machine, the VT20, save you $290. And you can actually buy that, I think the net out the door of that's $22.19. Little tax. If you want to finance it for $350 down and $122 a month, you can do that as well. Just let us know, 208-378-9911. Or go to healthvibrate.com. Healthvibrate.com. Lots of information there. You'll see a great little picture of a gal who went through chemo. She got referred to us because of our technology from a chemotherapy doctor here in town, an oncologist, who said, yeah, go down and use that machine. That'll be really good for you. Help move that toxicity out. So she did. She could not drive here. And I just happened to have my recorder on, as you'll see in the video at healthvibrate.com. And she says, well, I can't drive because I can only lift my arm this high. And she starts to lift her arm, and all of a sudden she goes, Oh my God, I can lift my arm above my shoulder now. I couldn't lift it above my waist before. She was totally shocked and surprised at what had happened to her in just, I think, 2 or 3 sessions, maybe. Pretty fast. So anyway, healthvibrate.com is where you can see directly the machines. Also on our website, we got information at livingwaterscleanse.com. We did a big, long podcast on it last year with Dr. Ian Gaynor, way back in the first of the year. So go to wholebodydetoxshow.com. Go back to about last February, I think it was, or January, and you'll see we talk about it there. Oh, it's also the podcast on our website, livingwaterscleanse.com. It's right there in the very top where it says podcast. It's one of the ones we have static up there all the time. I got, my train of thought got kidnapped there for a moment. I was telling you about my mother-in-law's story, but so she bought the machine and she started using it twice a day for 10 minutes, and she was bone on bone, a lot of pain, had to use a walker, and within 4 days, her pain was gone. I couldn't believe it. I says, what? No way. She says, yeah, I can walk out to the mailbox. And so she actually kept using the machine, and pretty soon it got so she could walk all the way down to the end of her lane. Next thing you know, rather than just sitting in her home, suffering, she gets on a plane with her granddaughter and flies to Ireland and takes a trip, and she's walking all over the continent over there. Completely freed her up. Oh, the Alzheimer's gal I told you about in the last segment. In 4 days, we kept increasing the amount of times that the time on the machine each day she was on it. And she was one that could not get out of a chair on her own without help. 4th day here, she gets up out the couch, not a chair, a couch, which is, I would sit to me harder to get out of. Got up, started to walk down the hallway and out the door. And I said, whoa, where are you going? We had never seen that. She was usually, if you sat her down, she wasn't going anywhere until someone came and grabbed her hand and stood her up. Big change. 4 days. First day was only 6 minutes. Finally got, and then 4 minutes on a chair, and then the next day a little longer, and a couple minutes in a chair, just vibrating. So it's amazing how much you start moving that lymphatic fluid and strengthening your muscles. You can strengthen that core muscle as well. You can do sit-ups without doing sit-ups. You can do push-ups without doing push-ups. You can do walking without walking. 10 minutes is equivalent to a 1 hour workout because it's 30 contractions a second. Your body is trying to balance you, and it's just oscillating back and forth. Feels like a massage. Feels wonderful, actually. Some of you, when you get on it, though, this is pretty interesting. Some of you get on it, and you might start itching. People go, oh, man, I'm really itching. Why am I itching? Well, that's a sign that you're pretty toxic. In other words, what your body has done to save your life, because the liver's plugged up and full, basically, is it store these toxins in the fat, in the subcutaneous tissue. So when you shake it up, start moving things, it's going to start itching. For those of you who have psoriasis, you know the toxins are coming out through the skin. Maybe you don't know that, but that's what's happening. Psoriasis, hives, rashes, acne, it's just your body pushing toxins out through the skin. You get on a vibration machine and you start itching, you know you're super, super toxic. So, because you're going to build bone and muscle. By the way, they did studies at the University of Willamette University is one of the places they did studies. When I first discovered the machine, they tested their pitchers' arm strength and their velocity of their fastball increased substantially. I can't remember the numbers, but it's quite a significant amount. They tested their leaping ability, and I think their leaping ability increased 8 to 12%. It's pretty significant. Just by using the machine. They took diabetics with neuropathy, and they didn't have them stand on the machine. They just set them in a chair every day for 10 minutes for 2 weeks. Their pain went from a 8 to a 2 within 2 weeks. Their pain was down. And we see that all the time here. So great investment. You know, this will not get used to hang clothes on. This is a tool to have in your home. You'll use it because, you know, you can use it for 2 minutes now, 2 or 3 minutes later in the afternoon, maybe do a full 10 minutes. Maybe some people they do 20 minutes. You'll improve your limberness and you'll improve your intelligence. It actually helps with the brain. And importantly, you're moving that lymphatic fluid. So for those of you with neuropathy, those of you with swelling, edema, you've got joint pain, you want to get on this machine. And when you use it in conjunction with colon hydrotherapy, cleaning out, getting those largest detoxification pathways opened up, you're going to increase the benefits many, many, many fold. You see, you got 45 pints of that lymphatic fluid that's just been pooling, and it's became a cesspool. And that's why people get breast cancer. So if you've got breast cancer, you should be on a machine. Let's clean out those lymph nodes. Let's not resort to surgery and cut them out. Let's clean them out. Let's clean out the body. You got the cancer in the first place because you're super toxic. So got a great post on it, on an article. It's in the Headroom magazine if you get that. It's on our blog at livingwaterscleanse.com. Also under modalities on our page. Our treatments under our page is what the title is. You'll see there's a bunch of information on whole body vibration technology. Great tool to have in your home. You know, we've got a bike in our home, and we have the elliptical machine in our home, and we have the vibration machine. And I can tell you the vibration machine gets used every day, and the other tool might get used once every, I don't know, embarrassed to say, probably once every 6 months, maybe. When I got deathly sick, and I did that show last, I think, October, it's called The Day I Almost Died. You'll see over the podcast. I lost 30 pounds in 15 days, and I lost so much of my muscle, and my ribs were coming apart, and they hurt like crazy. I got on that machine every day for just 10 minutes every day, and it was shocking to me. Of course, I was going from severe, I'd never been this sick before in this way. And to see how much I improved my muscle in that short time was a lot of fun. So if you have osteoporosis, great tool to have. If you want to improve your muscle strength, great tool to have. Increase your flexibility, improve your motion, detoxify the body, increase the stability. If you've got vertigo, you should be doing our 10-day healing retreat, period, in the story. But it's going to help with that as well. Assists in weight loss, enhances your coordination, and increases your metabolism as well, and overall well-being. And most importantly, as we mentioned, it's moving lymphatic fluid, which is one of the major jobs you should be doing because, again, we're too static in our society today. The story about how this machine actually got developed goes back to the Russian space program. They want to keep their astronauts in space for a long time, but when they're out in space, there's no gravity, so they lose a lot of muscle and bone very quickly. Well, how do we get them back in space fast? Well, we put them on a vibration machine. And the NASA got a hold of it, and then eventually, of course, the private sector got a hold of technology, and that's how we have these machines today. Kind of an interesting story. Little tip for you. If you're working in an office and you're working a lot of hours and you don't have a lot of time to go out and work out, get the portable machine. Put it under your desk. It rolls out of the way. It's very light. Or what I do sometimes, I'm on the phone, is I just turn the machine on, and I can be standing up or sitting down, but yet I'm going to get some benefits of using that machine just sitting up by itself. I mean, move that stagnant lymphatic fluid out of my legs, and then if I stand up, I'm going to be building bone and building muscle. So if you have that ability, I would sneak one off the office. They're a very expensive tool to have if you have the portable machine. Like I say, they're on sale right now for just $425. That sale ends May 13th. Buy one for your wife, buy one for your mother, your grandmother, and get them a machine. Get them exercising without them knowing it. It's a pretty cool way to take care of the favorite person in your life is giving a whole body vibration machine. You will use it, and you will enjoy the benefits. A couple more tips I want to give you before we go today. Speaking of cell phones and towers and so forth, when we got these cell phones became prolific back in the 1990s, we didn't have near the amount of power that we have today. So one of the things you need to understand about these smartphones is there's actually 5 antennas in it. I just recently got some meters to be able to measure the towers and measure the cell phone's frequency. And I was actually blown away now. They've increased the power on your Wi-Fi and on your phone. There's five of these antennas. You have the cellular mode, you have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, tracking, and hotspot. If you're not using them, turn them off. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show today. I've been your host, David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center. You make it a blessed week. We'll be back next week. And by the way, if you missed any part of the show, go to wholebodydetoxshow.com and subscribe to the podcast. Make it a blessed day. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you.